Apostates are turning up the heat. Hello and welcome, my friendly heretics. You are in for a doozy today. The Jehovah's Witness organization is suing a group of victims who go by the name of the Spanish Association of Victims of Jehovah's Witnesses in order to shut them up. Yes, you heard that correctly. The intention is to dismantle the group of victims and force them to stop speaking about the abuses they suffered while inside of the organization. What are the implications of a case like this? Stick around and let's talk about it.
Why we're surrounded by...
No doubt the governing body is losing their ever-loving minds right now. Left, right, and center, they're feeling the pangs of distress. Oh, I love using that against them. And impending doom. This case was filed last year, but it's going to court this December, next month. So if the defendants, who are the victims in this matter, can prove their case that the organization violates human rights by using tactics like coercion and fear to get their members to comply, the plaintiff, who is the Jehovah's Witness organization, has left themselves vulnerable to many more cases. Unfortunately, the flip side of that is if the Jehovah's Witnesses win the case, then the victims will not only have to take the word victim out of their name, which may not sound that bad, but it also means it will make it more difficult for other victims to create a support group to get accountability from the Jehovah's Witness organization, and more than likely for other victims of other high-control religious groups. Beyond that, these cases are starting to set an example for other governments who are beginning to crack down on religious fascism, like Australia and Norway has. There were about 70 cases that were filed by the AEVTJ Defense, which is the Spanish victims group. Of these, only a dozen will go through to the court to certify the veracity of the accusations that they put on the website. Carlos Bardavio, the lawyer for the JW org, points out that what they intend to do is destroy the association of victims. So just think about that for a moment. Instead of wanting to right wrongs like you're supposed to emulate as a follower of Christ, their intent is to tell abuse victims to suffer in silence. I personally would not want to be associated with an establishment, a church, or otherwise whose intent is to continue to harm people and conceal crimes. Doesn't Jehovah tell us that all things are seen by God and that all darkness will be brought to light? Aren't we encouraged to confess our sins before the elders because Jehovah already knows the truth? Isn't this ironic? My biggest question as of today is how will this be handled by the governing body? Because just last week, Wally, Ray, Jonathan, and myself were discussing the recent news in Norway over on the ApostateCoalition channel. If you haven't heard, the Norwegian government is giving the Jehovah's Witnesses a certain window of time to stop shunning. If they do not discontinue that punishment, which they consider a violation of children's rights, they are at risk of losing their status as a religious organization. Not only has Norway removed the Jehovah's Witnesses' ability to collect benefits and get tax breaks from the government as a religious entity, they will also lose the ability to perform weddings and more than likely have property taxes and the like that they have to pay for. Oops. With information at the tip of our fingers nowadays, will this be explained away as just another instance of persecution? Apostates are just trying to make life hard for them? Will they try to keep this information quiet and tell members what they are hearing in the news as lies and a misconstruction of the facts? Will they face it head on and try to pivot themselves to be the one in control and completely lie about the situation and how they came about? Can you think of any other repercussions from cases like these? Where do you see the organization next year? With failing numbers inside the kingdom halls, fewer people to knock on doors, I wonder how much longer they can keep up the facade. How long will they be able to continue to pull the wool over their members' eyes? Although having billions in real estate and money overseas banks can kind of help keep that going. I would love to know what y'all think will happen and how will the governing body and current members handle all this new information. The link for the website to the Spanish victims will be in the description below. And also, if you don't mind, head over to their Twitter and please give the AEVTJ a follow and support. I am very curious on how the Jehovah's Witnesses are going to handle this, and I'd love to know what y'all think. So drop me a comment, let me know. Let's discuss, and I will definitely keep you apprised if I hear any new information, and certainly when the case is heard in December, we will all be waiting on the edges of our seats. I'll see you soon, y'all. Love you. Love you, apostates. Freaking weirdos. Freaking weirdos.